All right. Good morning, my friends. It's your Coffee and Magic for members. The week of 8/4. So today's 8/5. See what's in store for you. Compare them to the collectives that were this morning's. And we shall see. All right. We're starting off with caress. All right, caress. So make sure shuffle these good. Oop, that one's coming out, that one's coming out, and that one's coming out. All right. All right, Cress, here's your cards. You have the butterfly, joy, and the mystery. The mystery was the one that flew out first. So we have mystery, joy, and butterfly for caress. All right, so unlike the collective readings, your vibe this week is a little bit different. um, yeah, it feels like this week you are not really vibing with the collective, the general collective thing. Like you're actually, it feels like in a very good space. And in order to stay in that good space, maybe just remember that you don't have to align with the collective spiral. Like you don't have to agree with the collectives, if that makes sense. Not that things aren't challenging, but at the same time, you it feels like how those the first two poles are like the horses and moving. You are like right on the other side of that. Like you already did that, so you don't need to be told to keep moving in that direction. You're already in it, and now you just have to trust that process seriously. And it feels like this week is really one of those weeks where if you can just focus on the microcosms of beauty and joy and like really, really just like sink into things that make you feel really good and that you think are really beautiful, that's all you need this week to kind of like ride this energy out and be totally fine. Just like, oh, my coffee cup is gorgeous. Oh, my dog is adorable. Like focus on those things and like let yourself ride through this week and you're good. So, congratulations. All right, next up we have Bobby. Okay, good. I'm glad. It's our favorite thing to be told to trust. It's my favorite too. Have a great week, babe. See you Thursday. All right, Bobby. All right. Ooh, I'm so itchy. Bobby, you have perception, horse, and the dragon. What a vibe for you this week. Okay, so this is going to align. If you look at Coffee Magic, this is the horse and it is moving. It's like you moving into this new way of being, you moving into this new space, whether you're running into it or not. It doesn't matter. Just keep going. Like, do not stop. You have on your side some really strong energy. However, to wield this energy that is available to you this week, you are going to have to shift your perception about some things. And that might mean releasing some preconceived ideas about how the world works, how you work, how other people work, what you're worth, what you deserve. Like all of those things are going to come into play, but also bigger than all of that in this perception is letting go of like ego ties, right? Like, well, I said this and now I can't go back on it because I don't want to look like I was wrong, like that kind of a thing. Shifting your perception is going to increase your ability to use and wield this power that is available to you this week, which is really big. This is big energy. So keep going, shift your perception to tap into the power you have this week. Next up is Valerie. Before I came on here, I did like absolutely rub my face all over my cat. So I think that's why I'm so itchy. Okay, Valerie, risk, spider, and the wind fairy. You're gonna have to tell me which one you picked this morning in the collectives. So the spider, risk, and wind fairy. Whenever the wind fairy comes through, I am going to say that you are thinking a lot, like up, up, up in your brain, just doing the most thinking, the most calculating. You have the spider, which is that, that creative energy that's coming forward right now, like, build something, create something, do something, but from that love-based place, right? Not from a fear-based place. You are overthinking that pretty hard right now, I think. And that is putting you in this place. Okay. So basically, on the one side, you have like you with your creative energy. On the other side, we have you overthinking everything. And then that has created this risky feeling that, like, what if what I do doesn't work? What if, what if all the things just go wrong, basically? And that's fine. I mean, that's one part of it, right? Like, whenever we get into that mind spin of like worst case scenarios, just remember that's fine. That's just one part of it, though. So if you are indulging in catastrophizing, you have to also do the opposite, right? So if you are going to say, here are all the horrible things that could happen, you also have to counter that by saying, and here are all the wonderful things that could happen. And at least in that equation, you're being fair, because looking at the worst case scenarios isn't fair. It's just really weighting, like giving weight to the worst case scenario, right? Like, all of these things exist, but what are you going to put your focus on? What are you going to put your brain on at this time? Is it everything going wrong or everything going right? There was an equation in fear-based world, and then this is for everybody, so everybody listen to this. There was an equation in fear-based reality that basically has, it's like a riddle, right? If you think of the worst thing that can happen, you are protecting yourself in a way, and maybe the best thing will happen, but you can't look at that. If you look at the good possibilities, the things you actually want to happen, then they won't stay. That is the worst math that's ever math. Because if you think about it, what you're saying is directly contradicting itself. Because you're basically saying if you talk about all of the worst things, they won't happen. But if you talk about all of the best things, they won't happen. So check your math this week to make sure that your brain is running a program that is sensible to you. All right, next up is Tiffany. Wow, you do keep getting these, I feel like, Tiffany. Am I misremembering this? All right, you've got Merlin, Restriction, Stag. Like, really powerful vibes for you this week, Tiffany. But this little bitch over here. Okay, so let's look at Merlin and Stag. This is leadership, confidence, right? Like, look what I'm doing. Just opening up this whole area, okay? Having the ability to really sit with your power, to really consider your options and make choices based off of the best alchemy, not flying off the cuff, right? This is very, I don't want to say logic based, but like just very like calm and calculated, okay? Very strong and present. Very, all my energy is here with me and available to me. Now, with that said, you have this happening. What is going on here, right? Like, how could it be that you feel both so powerful and so stuck at the same time? How do we do that? How do we have such immense power and strength and confidence and at the same time feel like we're stuck? Sometimes it be that way. And I think this week for you, it's not pushing past the stuckness. Just remembering that this is still you, and look at this as just a little bit of a pause. You're having some sort of a hiccup. This isn't a perception block. This is just a hold on kind of block. So sit with your power and just wait this out. You will not feel stuck anymore really soon. Okay? Next up, we have Kit. Hi, Susan. Susan, you're right after Kit. So stick around. All right, Kit. I'm shuffling, shuffling, shuffling. Ooh. Oh my God, I was wondering that, Valerie. Can you believe it? Just in case you like thought the cards weren't like listening, like Kit, look at this. Birth and Rebirth, High Priestess, and the Eagle. Like these are not at all the collective cards for this week, but they very much are connected to yours that have been happening. So Birth and Rebirth, High Priestess, and the Eagle. You don't get a more fun energy for a week. It feels like you're coming off, you're not coming off, but like you are integrating some really big energies right now. And I don't want to say you're transforming because I just that just like bothers me, that terminology. It's more like you're coming into who you've always been and allowing that person to really take root in the present. You are so connected to the highest self energies at this time. You are so present and you are in that rebirth process right now, but it's not feeling messy even. It feels very, just very high level and seamless and smooth. So, like, enjoy it this week. If something feels a little sticky at any point, just remember to like drop into some meditation and tap into highest self and just allow that energy to smooth it through. But you are in it, girlfriend. Send some of that this way. All right, Susan. I'm shuffling. All right, Susan, here you go. You have Risk, High Priestess, Wind Fairy. Okay, so here we are again with the thinkies, right? Whoa. Our brains are so annoying. I'm telling you. Like, man. Okay, so this week, much like Kit's card pull, you are having like such a vibe available to you. Like this is such a vibe available to you, and unfortunately, and fortunately, you can shift this around, but you have this vibe that is being completely overshadowed by like almost like it feels like do you have anxiety, like actual anxiety? It feels like you're it's be your feels like your mind is like really poised to spin out right now, like just like all the worst case scenarios, like just and it almost feels like the reason for that is this like sudden influx of confidence and power. And it's like, why would that make me spin out? Well, because we haven't quite figured out the formula to wield such power yet, right? We're not used to feeling so confident and it's just like throwing all things off. So you basically are in a space of having to reorganize to account for the fact that you are now the high priestess of your own life, right? You aren't in service to, you are it. So that's going to take a little bit of reprogramming this week to remember that you are that bitch now. It's you. It's you. I'm very cussy this morning. Um, the risky energy is really just coming out of the mind stuff, right? Like your mind, again, like I was just saying, it's really good at calculating worst case scenarios and thinking that there's virtue in it. But I'm telling you, the math it doesn't math with it. It's a very faulty math. Like as soon as you look at it, it falls apart because it like cannot carry through with the equation. So thinking that if you look at every possible worst case scenario, that somehow you'll avoid having to deal with it or you'll be more prepared for it, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like you're making it happen. You do have to balance that with thinking about other things too. And that's more fair. And then maybe we skew it to the other side once we get that practice in. But basically, this week, you're really in your power and your old programming is freaking out, is kind of the long and short of it. So just remember that. The freak out is not because of this. The freak out is because your brain is wired to not being this at this time, and you just need to kind of catch that programming up. I hope that makes sense. That makes sense. You're welcome. All right, next up we have Allison. Whoa. Okay. All right, Allison, ready? Ready or not? Crow, Raven, sorry. Raven, perception, death. So, wow. So, Allison, we're having a lot of perception energy this week. So my question would be, what is ended that you could look at in a different way to help you this week, right? Did something really end this week or before, whatever, like whatever thing has like just ended for you? Are you looking at it in a way that supports you or in a way that you're blaming yourself for something? Do you know what I mean? Like the ending is necessary for a beginning. We all know that. Like that's just how the energy dynamics is. But knowing something in your brain and knowing something in your body is a real different thing, right? Can you see whatever has happened here in a way that supports your growth, right? Your magic, your it just feels like whatever this is, this almost feels like the death of who you've been clinging to, of yourself. You know what I mean? Like, who are you? Who do you see when you look in the mirror? And like allowing that person to completely like leave, right? Um, I don't want to say it's heavy, but it can be a little heavy. Like it's not all heavy. It's just a lot. And it's a lot to let go of yourself like that. And then trust the process in it. But can you see it from that different perspective? Can you see it from like this is opening up me to the fullest expression of me that has ever happened, and like let it be that, you know? Oof. And I'm sorry, my allergies are like, wow, they are coming in hot and heavy right now this morning. Next up, we have Janelle. So we've got Janelle, Julie, and Yvonne. Close us out on this Monday morning. Well, Janelle, this has been very popular today. Horse energy is very popular today. You also have dragon and communication. Okay. So the dragon is an energy you have available to you right now. Just like I said with Bobby, you have an energy, this big, powerful energy available to you this week. It feels very much connected to your communication, to speaking your truth, to being very, not just speaking your truth actually, but speaking something into existence. It's very much like a vibe, like this is how you do your magic this week. Say things and they happen. I think you have been having this ability for a while. This is the week that it amps up in a crazy way. Like you know how you used to have like the ice cream story. Look for that, but bigger this week. Like you are in it now, where you can just speak it into existence and leave it alone. The horse is just reminding you to keep moving into that space. Don't be scared of it. Like it's who you are. You've been moving into this direction for a while. Keep walking forward into it. What a birthday week for you. My goodness. That's a lot of power. All right, Julie. You've got to be kidding me. I cannot make this shit up. Like another horse? Okay. All right, Julie. So you have a horse as well, but you have forgiveness and partnership. All right. So for you this morning, um, obviously the horse, of course, right? It's moving forward, keep going. The forgiveness card is forgiving yourself for anything that you are still hanging on that's making it difficult for you to connect with others. And that's what this is really about. Through, I don't know if it's friendships or, an intimate relationship. It doesn't really matter necessarily whether it's friendships or an intimate relationship. It's more like something that you have been holding on to that you haven't forgiven yourself for is making it difficult to connect in your partnerships because of that, because you're afraid of repeating something from the past, or you think you're not worthy, or like whatever it is. But really focusing on that for you this week, of like really letting go of whatever it is that's making you feel less than and not worthy of this connection that's here for you this week. Okay. And obviously the horse is just like, keep going, don't stop. All right, Yvonne. Here we go. Well, you do not have the horse this morning, my friend. Joy, goblin, fire fairy. Oh my goodness. This is a funny one. So you're actually in a place where you're having a lot of fun. And that seems to be the problem. Like, there's a part of you inside of your brain, right, that's saying, uh-oh, like, this is too fun. There's got to be something off here. Like, no. Like, that's basically the vibe for you this week. It's like, I'm enjoying myself a little too much. What's the catch here, right? Where is the bottom falling from? Like, you have fire fairy, which, that very big Leo, optimistic, creative energy with this joy energy. And it's almost like you're being triggered by your own good feelings right now, by your own good energy. And I think you should laugh about it. I think that's the cure this week for you, is to just kind of laugh at yourself, at how funny it is that, like, you are feeling the best you felt, and your, like, programming is trying to tell you there's something wrong with that. Like, let's laugh it off so that it doesn't become serious this week, because if you don't, it could become a little more serious and this energy could overtake the good vibes that you have. So, like, let's just laugh him out of the room, because he's being kind of silly. But you are in an excellent energy this week, and your creative energy is flowing. You are really able to see the beauty in your own life and be appreciative of it. And that is why your creative energy is flowing. So just laugh it off, and keep going. Okay. All right, my friends, I love you. I will see you on Thursday, Lionsgate, for the first workshop session and live channeling. If you're not in the workshop, you can sign up for live channeling. I'll be sending that out soon, okay? I love you guys. Mwah.